From historic Charleston, South Carolina, welcome to Miracles Today with radio and television pastor Clifford A. Whitfield, pastor and founder of the Faith Covenant Christian Center, one of the fastest growing churches in South Carolina. People are being blessed through the ministry of Pastor Clifford A. Whitfield through books, tapes, and gospel literature, and through his weekly radio and television ministry. And now, pastor and teacher Clifford A. Whitfield.
Hi, I'm Dr. Clifford Whitfield, pastor and founder of the Faith Covenant Christian Center. We are located 2508 Ashley River Road, here in the beautiful city of West Ashley, Charleston, South Carolina. We hold Sunday school every Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. Our Sunday morning worship begins at 10 o'clock a.m. And you are welcome to attend. Again, I'm Dr. Clifford Whitfield, independent associate for LegalShield. You know, I had the opportunity to hear about this wonderful company some years ago. And of course, like so many people, I didn't have time. I was a busy person and just really didn't have time for someone to sit down and talk to me about it. Finally, I was able to sit down. My time was a little bit more free, and I had the opportunity to listen to this wonderful company with a great presentation. This company is called LegalShield. What is LegalShield? Well, LegalShield is a unique service. It's a priceless benefit. LegalShield gives you the ability to talk to an attorney on any matter without worrying about the high hourly cost. Now, I want you to get this. Can you imagine talking to an attorney without worrying about the high hourly cost? Do you know what the cost of an attorney is today? Well, the average cost of an attorney per hour is somewhere between $200, $300 per hour, and some of them even more, depend upon what kind of client and what kind of case that they're representing. But we've been priced right out of the legal system. Why, the average person in America averages about $10, $15, $20 an hour, when the average attorney is over $200 an hour. You see, friends, we've been priced out of the legal system. But for one flat fee with this company, LegalShield, you have access to legal advice, no matter how dramatic or how trivial the issue. Can you imagine talking to an attorney on any matter without worrying about the cost? Well, this company gives you that opportunity. You try talking to an attorney today and say, Mr. Attorney, I want to talk to you, my wife and I want to talk to you about any matter, you know, any time of the day, 5 or 6, 7 days a week if necessarily, and I want you to give me one flat rate. Now, please keep in mind that the average attorney charges anywhere between $200 to $300 an hour. Say you wanted to talk to a lawyer, and you said, I want you to give me one flat fee. Tell me what would it cost for me to call and talk to you on any matter. What would he charge you a month? $300? $200? $500? I don't know, but the average price of an attorney is around $300 to $200 or more per hour. You do the math. I was talking to a lady just the other day that I had the privilege and opportunity to talk with her and sign her up for LegalShield. She said, Dr. Whitfield, my sister and I own a piece of property, and we had a lot of legal issues that we didn't know how to handle. She said, and we asked our family members, do you know of a lawyer? And then they also asked their family members about the legal issue. Number one, you don't want to be asking people in the street, friends and families and relatives, about legal issue. They're not attorneys. They don't know the law. You don't want to be asking family, friends, and members of your family about legal matter. No, you want to talk to an attorney. Well, we know why she didn't just consult an attorney, simply because of the fear the fear of the high hourly cost of an attorney. So finally, they decided to look in the yellow pages, and they found an attorney. She said, Dr. Whitfield, my sister and I, we went down to the lawyer's office, and we talked to this attorney for about 15 minutes. She said he sent us a bill for $150 for 15 minutes. You see, friends, that's one of the reasons that we do not talk to an attorney, simply because we've been priced out of the legal system. So we don't want to talk to a lawyer because we know we can't afford it. But let me ask you a question. What if you could afford a lawyer? I'm talking about some of the best lawyers in the United States and for Providence in Canada. What if you can talk to an attorney on any given subject, on any matter, no matter how dramatic or how trivial the issues are? Would you pick up your phone and call your provider law firm? Yes, you would. Most of the time, you would call them about any and everything. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Well, I have signed a contract and documents many times, and I have not read them. I must be honest with you. But now, since I have LegalShield, you can bet you I do not sign any contract or document without forwarding those documents or contract to my provider law firm. Let me go over just a couple of things that I know you don't read. Secondly, you do not send it to a provider law firm. What about our cell phone? The average one of you today that are watching me by television or on Facebook or in space, you were so happy that you got your cell phone. You were so happy that you got your iPad. You were so happy that you were approved, you never signed, you never even read the contract. Many of you, I've been guilty of that in the past. You know, you go renew your contract, you go pick out a BlackBerry because your contract has expired, and you know that you could go inside of the Verizon or one of the other companies, and you know that you could get an updated phone. You're so happy that they gave you the phone, you never even saw the contract. And right now, they don't even show you the contract. When your contract has expired for 2 years and you went to go get another phone, they just said, okay, we got that in the system. The phone costs $200, and then they send you on your way. You don't even know what's in those contracts. But friends, because I have LegalShield, you can bet you that I will not sign a contract or document again today without having my provider law firm look over those contracts and documents and make sure that I am protected. Now, I know some of you out here saying, I don't need a lawyer. Well, I said those things in the past as well. But if you live long enough, you're going to need a lawyer. Why? Because people today will sue you over just about anything. Do you hear what I said? People today will sue you over just about anything. It's not if you need a lawyer, it's when you need a lawyer. And every one of us are going to need a lawyer one day. Have you ever signed your cable bill? You know, with all these fine prints on the back of the contract. We haven't read it, but we signed it. There are many contracts and documents we sign every single day without having those contracts or document looked over by our attorney. Well, because I have LegalShield, you can bet you that will never happen again. I won't sign any contract. I will not sign any document that I'm not sure of without having my provider law firm look at it. Now, someone say, I don't need a lawyer, but you're using lawyers every single day of your life. They just don't work for you. Those contracts that you're signing, whether it's your cell phone bill or whether it's your landline bill or whether it's your cable bill, and the list goes on and on. You sign in contracts every day. You are signing contracts that have been written by an attorney every single day. They just don't work for you. Please keep in mind when you sign those contracts or documents, those contracts and documents are lease or even buying a mortgage. The list just goes on and on. They are to protect the person who hired the attorney. That's why you need to forward those contracts and documents to your provider law firm so that you can make sure that you've been protected. Are you following me? It's very, very important. You know, we sign contracts all the time without reading them. But let me tell you something. The only reason why we do that is simply because we know that we cannot afford to call an attorney and to forward those contracts on to our attorney because we know we can't afford them. Why? Because we've been priced out of the legal system. But rich people do not sign contracts and documents without having their attorney looking over it. You know, many of you go to auto dealership. I used to be in the car industry, so I know a lot about the car industry. You know, many of us go buy cars every 3 or 4 years, and we're signing contracts. I mean, when you go to the finance office, you can just hear that printer. That printer is just spitting out these long forms, and we're signing the forms for these automobiles, and we have no idea what's in the contract. We are just so happy, one, that we were approved for the loan, two, that the monthly payment is somewhere in the range in which we would like them. So we signed this contract. You have no idea what's in those contracts. And that's why when we finally have problems, see, here's what we do every single day. We sign the contracts and we don't worry about anything until something happened. Well, when something happened, then all of a sudden we want to find out what's in the contract, and now we want to try to get a lawyer. Well, you see, what LegalShield does is give you the ability to talk to a lawyer on any given subject, no matter how dramatic or how trivial the issue is. You can talk to your provider law firm any time of day or night, 5 days a week, 9 to 5. And now with LegalShield, you can also have access to your provider law firm 24 hours, 7 days a week for emergencies. You know, such as if you were pulled over at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, or perhaps you had an accident, you can call your lawyer 24/7. Or if you were arrested or detained or being questioned by authority, you can call your provider law firm, and that emergency number is available for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So LegalShield gives us a playing field where everyone can now have access to an attorney. Now we can call our attorney no matter how dramatic or how trivial the issue. Have you ever been overcharged or treated unfairly? Well, I've been overcharged for products and services. You've been overcharged for products and services all the time. You know, the scripture says, and I quote, "My people are being destroyed for lack of knowledge." People are being destroyed every single day for lack of knowledge, for lack of information. Well, we're giving you information today because many of us have been overcharged or mistreated. And the scripture lets us know that my people are being destroyed for lack of knowledge. Overcharge could be a legal matter. Treated unfairly could also be a legal matter. That's why it is so important that you have a lawyer on your side. Have you ever received a traffic ticket? Well, I've received a traffic ticket. You have received a traffic ticket. And of course, I know that, now of course, I'm not telling us to break the law. But if you had an attorney and money was not an object, are you telling me that you would not get your provider law firm involved with this?